And with that, we just know that we wanted to provide eye protection that anyone can afford, and they don't have to go to a Lowe's or to a Home Depot. Nothing against those brands, great brands.
Hey, if you own a gun in California, you should have an attorney that specializes in California gun laws on your speed dial. Because if you ever have legal matters that involve firearms, you need California firearms lawyer John Dillon, especially if you have questions about red flag laws, gun registration, gun transportation, or maybe you need to know that your guns are California compliant. Our trusted firearms attorney is John Dillon. John Dillon specializes in California gun laws. Put his number in your phone right now. That's 760-642-7150. John Dillon's a California firearms lawyer. He is the best. That phone number, 760-642-7150.
Eye protection is a big part of gun safety, a huge part of gun safety. And we have some folks from a fantastic company, Bolle, that we've all heard of, not just for gun safety, but I think for fashion and style as well. Bolle is a leader. So we have Mark Van Buskirk and Julianne Billings-Reardon in to talk about Bolle. How are you guys?
Doing great today. Thank you for having us.
You bet. Thanks for being here. I'm really excited. I know you've been here before, Mark.
I was here probably about 7 years ago.
Yeah, back in the day.
Back in the day with a really good Navy SEAL friend of mine when we actually were introducing Predator War Paint, a very cool camouflage face paint for the military.
Right. Yeah.
Huh. And you're with Bolle. What's your talk about your? Let's start with your background.
Okay, so it's interesting. I've spent probably almost 40 years of my life taking care of those that are taking care of us. So military, police, first responders, all those that are out there holding the line, men and women. I've probably had the best career of anybody that I know because I've traveled the world, going back to my first serious job, which was Oakley. I was the founder of Oakley's military and government sales and distribution. I spent 26 years with Oakley and developed combat eyewear, boots, gloves, and goggles for all that protect and serve. An amazing run. Can't say enough about that brand. We built great product. From there, I developed a company or launched a company called GovX. It's today the largest e-commerce site for those that protect and serve. So think of an Amazon for military, firefighters, first responders, a restricted site. So only if you serve do you have access to the brands that want to honor you for your service and give you their products at a very reasonable price. After that, I spent 5 years there. That company's doing great, but I left and joined my Navy SEAL buddy and developed the camouflage face paint for the military. That was the last time I was here.
Yeah.
Spent 2 years developing that with Nick and moved on when Spy gave me a call and said, Mark, you've done a lot building brands for law enforcement and military. Come over to Spy and build one for us. Spent 2 years building out their military division, and then Spy was acquired by Bolle. So I spent the last 5 years developing a military program for what we call Bolle Safety Standard Issue, or the acronym BSSI.
Not a bad, I think it's, I don't know, correct me if I'm wrong. I think it'd be easier to sell to the civilian market than it is, government or specifically military. I mean, they have, different standards. They have a lot of red tape. I'd imagine it's difficult. Why is it important to sell to the military? Why is it important to focus on military? I mean, I guess what I'm saying, it's probably an easier buck to make in the civilian world, but it seems important to you to support military. Is that?
I think it's important to protect those that are protecting us, and that's been my life for 40 years or more. As I say, I've traveled the world back in the day for that company with the big O. Made a lot of great friends, lost some great friends in the wars that we've been fighting. But I was out there always trying to provide eye protection, and over the course of time, saved a lot of men and women's eyes. Got great letters from their moms, their dads, their brothers, their sisters that we saved some eyes. So that was awesome. And when I got the opportunity to come to Bolle, I saw that Bolle, a brand that has been around since 1880. So we're not another Me Too brand. Bolle has been around since 1880, still headquartered in Lyon, France, with great technology behind them. But many people here in the U.S. don't remember the brand unless they were skiing in a Bolle goggle back in the 80s.
Yeah.
Right.
So my thought was, let's build a division and bring those that want to have the very best in eye protection at an affordable price, but set the standard as to what I had built over at that brand with the big O. And by that I mean we wanted everything that other brand had done at an affordable price, but we wanted to exceed what they had done in two areas, and I believe we have. One, very important, is we have a technology called Platinum. I got to tell you, when we do trade shows with Julianne, who's here with me today, and I'll have her speak to some of the trade shows and the marketing that we're doing, but when we do trade shows, and a guy that's young comes up, he's in his 20s, and he says, what's Bolle? Bolle, I've never heard of it. I said, no, first of all, it's Bolle. Where's your dad? Because your dad skied him in the 80s, and he will remember those great ski goggles that we built. And as we get through the conversation, I show them our anti-fog, anti-scratch technology, which is called Platinum, and they give me their glasses that they have on top of their head, and they fog and ours don't. Their eyes immediately open up and they say, oh my gosh. I actually give out my phone number. I said, hey, give me a call if these ever fog. I never hear from anybody.
So, Julianne, you're the role you play with Bolle is a marketing role, like a sales role. Is that?
Yeah, I'm the all of North America marketing manager for director. Seems like it for Canada, the U.S., and South America.
Wow, are you guys headquartered here in San Diego?
We are. We're up in Carlsbad. That's North American headquarters, but our corporate headquarters are in Lyon, France.
Yeah,
that's where
right.
Bolle brands. Yeah,
It's
over 135
unbelievable
years.
how many we have. So many cool companies headquartered in San Diego. I forget. I think it was. Where did I was just driving by some place and found, it was Bilstein. Bilstein's headquartered here in San Diego, too, and I just drove by their headquarters, like, oh, hey, cool. But I didn't realize the Bolle was. Now, from marketing, Mark's right. When a couple years ago, when it was either Lance or Rich or somebody brought in Bolle glasses, I was like, I'm nowhere near classy enough to wear Bolle. Like, they were fancy. They weren't, the working man's glasses, and I'm certainly no slave to fashion or, style. And I thought, oh, man, I feel like an imposter. But the stuff that you guys brought in, extremely affordable and extremely high quality. So how do you market to guys like me?
Well, and before you go any farther than that, if anybody knows Michael Schwartz, they fit your noggin.
Yeah, my big head.
I just wanted to say, because you don't wear sunglasses, generally speaking, right?
Everything's tough. It's tough for me to find watches. It's tough for me to find hats. It's tough for me to find
when
glasses.
we gave you the Bolles, you went, oh, okay.
Yeah, they were super
right.
comfy. I believe it's from your Gorilla line. No, I'm kidding. So it's ridiculous.
Dump.
So how do you? So I'm 40. I'm going to be 48 here soon. Oh, I hate saying that out loud. But I'm going to be 48 here soon. And just like Mark said, I remember you guys being way classier than me. That was my impression. But you guys are making high quality, extremely affordable stuff. How do you market to guys like me?
Well, we're out there marketing to everyone. Of course, everyone did know us from the ski goggle years, but this is different. This line is different. It is a ballistic mil-spec rated line, right?
Yeah.
So depending on what I'll say outdoor firearm shooting or groups, military, first responder, all the encompass of firearm enthusiasts, depends on what you're doing is what we're going to put you in for the fit. So our whole line, the Bolle Safety Standard issue line, has, as Mark mentioned before, the Platinum technology, and it also has for the narrow face and any type
and the not so
face.
narrow face.
And the not so narrow.
And we don't even say that, but we have you try it on, and we have you try on the full line to see what fits best for you.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
So depending on what situation what environment you're in, we're going to pair you up with that. But I'll tell you, a lot of them fit across the board.
Yeah,
they really do, and they're really lightweight.
Yeah.
They don't.
They disappear.
With the temples and the nose bridge. I wear them indoors, outdoors, ranges, and I put my ears on, my hat on, and I don't even know I'm wearing them.
My wife wears them when she does weed whacking.
There you go.
Smart woman.
And she's had a pair since the last time you were there, and it's the only pair she has not lost. I don't know what you got a magnet on, or some kind of a thing that they just don't lose. And she uses them every single time.
And that's what we hear. We love these eyewear.
Yeah.
What is this that makes it so different from what else is out there?
Comfort.
And it's the comfort, it's the style. They have now, it is stylish eyewear,
yeah.
the whole line of it, and as well as the anti-fog. So you can't scratch them, you can't fog them.
Right.
I've been at the company now over 3 years. I'm using the same ones indoor and outdoor, and I have not, there's
Right.
no marks on them whatsoever.
I know.
I don't think people don't really realize, I mean, it sounds silly, but I don't think people realize just how, I think they realize how important their eyes are, but I don't think people realize how delicate, how like, man, one wrong move and you're blind,
Right.
for life. It's pretty serious. Meanwhile, I would, regularly go in and buy, $150, safety glasses at Home Depot on my way to the range. Not the way to go. Not the way to go. And it was when you guys were showing me, when I was looking through your product, really realizing how much research, how much technology goes into it. Pretty phenomenal, and I don't think it's something that people think about enough until things go bad, and then it's probably too late.
Your eyes are worth it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Hindsight's 20/20 when
Yeah.
you don't have hindsight.
Right.
That's 20/20.
So anybody can put out a pair of protective eyewear at an affordable price. You see it all the time in Home Depots and Lowe's and all of that. My vision when I came over to the brand was to build to the standards of that company I spent 25 years of my life at. I didn't want any compromises. And when you take a look at BSSI, whether you look online or whether you go into Ace Uniform or North County Shooting Club, whatever it might be, you will see that nothing was spared. I mean, even how we developed the box and the micro bag, nothing was spared. I wanted to make sure that we met the levels of that big brand that were out there. So optical clarity, impact resistance. But where can we separate ourselves from all the other brands that are out there selling to military and law enforcement and first responders? And I could sit here for half an hour and name the brands. I know every single one of them. Where could we separate ourselves?
When we get back, I want you just mentioned BSSI. When we get back on the other side of the break here, I want you to tell people what does BSSI stand for and then what it means.
Hey, you ever wanted to get a pilot's license?
Yes.
Well, here in San Diego, pilots can fly almost every day, which makes San Diego one of the best places to learn to fly in the world. Learn to fly with San Diego Flight Training International. Check out this deal just for Gun Owner Radio listeners. 1 hour of flight school, and with an instructor, that is, and you do get to fly. Normally that's a $400 hit, but for listeners, you get it for $350. Get started is easy. Just give them a call at 858-569-1822. Learn to fly with SDFTI. That's 858-569-1822.
Yeah, growing up, I couldn't afford any name brands. I think I'd buy whatever, convenience store, crappy glasses, Panama Jack special, whatever. And whole new world when I was an adult and actually got some quality glasses. Whole new world. And then in my, I turned 40 and boom, my vision went right off a cliff. I mean, I was an eagle eye, and then I swear my 40th birthday, it just dropped right off a cliff. And it really, really was an eye opener on, just how important it was to take care of your eyes. Those two things especially had a huge impact. So you said a term, BSSI. Tell us what BSSI is.
So BSSI is the acronym we've given to Bolle Safety Standard Issue. And my idea for coming up with that was back in the day when I was with that company with the O, I owned U.S. Standard Issue, or USSI. So everybody knows essentially that Standard Issue is product that's issued to those that are protect and serve. Mm-hmm. So when I came together with Bolle, I said, listen, I know it's worked. Let's go with BSSI as our category line within Bolle. But you have to understand, as I mentioned earlier, Bolle has been around since 1880. The safety division, which is a separate division under the Bolle brands, has been around since 1950. We've been protecting eyes since 1950. If you go back to 1880, Bolle was actually, they made hair combs and brushes as they started. But 1950, safety. And today, Bolle sells to many of the top 100 Fortune brands, and they also sell to 88 countries around the world. So their technology is there, and with their technology, we were able to bring together BSSI.
That's interesting. That's cool. So, your focus has been on military. Is it who in the military is using Bolle? I guess is my next question.
A lot of
is like when I say that, like, what job do you have in the military where you
it can be everybody from.
I was going to say, who isn't?
Yeah, who isn't? It can be military police. It can be people on the flight line. It can be people on ships. It's frankly anybody that needs eye protection. They can be working on machinery. They can be working on aircraft. In any area where you need eye protection, you can be out on the range qualifying. Wherever you need eye protection, that's who is buying BSSI.
So when they're designing eye safety, glasses for the shooting community, how do they take that into, like, how do you do the calculations there? You know what I mean? Like, how do you go, hey, look, if you're going to be shooting a gun, this is the type of danger your eyes could be in. Therefore, we need to design it this way. Like, how do they do that calculus?
Well, I'm going to turn this question over to Julianne, because Julianne actually is a shooter, and actually, we have to have a little bit of Julianne's background first, so you know who you're listening to.
Yeah, give us your background.
Well, recently, I looked it up in the U.S. Bureau with the ophthalmologist, and the amount of eye injuries a year is over 20,000, and that's on work sites.
Wow.
So take that into account. That is, we don't know about what that is maybe in the military or the law enforcement or first responders. So remember the Christmas Story? You're going to shoot your eye out. Okay, so you got to I think of that.
It's the season. In fact, I think it's 40 years today.
It is.
That Christmas Story came out.
I think so.
40 years
they
today.
did the big thing. I think, it's coming up again.
But anyway, so you'll shoot your eye out. You want to make sure no one shoots their eye out.
Right.
And you don't even have numbers on home injuries.
No, the home injuries, no.
Which has got to be massive.
Sure. So we have gun safety. I always say now when you go into the range, you have to have your eye safety, your ears and your eyes, right? So when I go in there, and a lot of it is on site at the gun ranges, outdoors, indoors, are shooting the competitions. We got brand ambassadors that are now wearing these, and they love them, and then they put them out there, on their own platform, social media platform. So for me personally, I mentioned before, I love a pair called Cillian Plus. It's a copper lens. It's indoors, it's outdoors, it cuts down on the glare. But I know every single one of these lines that I'm wearing is that mil-spec ballistic rated. I will not. I've seen eye injuries on the range where it's hit and it was severely cut or damaged. You can lose an eye easy.
It's over.
Everyone knows that, right? Yeah, you're blind. These, I've actually been to a show, and we were at Modern Day Marine over a year ago, and we was with our X1000 goggles. They could not shoot. They did an indoor range test at the show, and they could not send probably about it was a air gun, I think, equivalent to a 38. Couldn't shoot through it.
Wow.
Yeah.
Holy
so
cow.
that's what goes through my head is these are safe. I am so protected and safe with my eyes, no matter what.
And look how much more confident you feel.
Exactly.
Because I don't think that, that's way over designed, right? I mean, no one's shooting you in the eye with a 38. No. Really what you got to worry about is shrapnel, blowback, casings, that kind of stuff.
Alec Baldwin.
Yeah. I had a Dave.
Oh. He'll shoot you in the face.
That's inappropriate. That's an inappropriate way too soon.
Yeah, but you loved it.
I actually went to a range, and let me think. How did I rented. I got to think this through for a second. I rented a 454. Yeah, I rented a 454 because I just wanted to try it. And they gave me 44 Magnum ammo because it was a rental, so you had to use their ammo. Mm-hmm. And they gave me a bag of 44 Magnum. Now, 44 Magnum, smaller than 454, like physically actually smaller. And I'm shooting this thing, and I was getting such blowback. And I'd never shot, a 454 before. So I'm thinking, man, this is a lot of smoke and whatever. Well, it wasn't. It was like powder and it was not good. And I pulled the casings out, and they were split, because they didn't fit in the chambers correctly. Right. Mm-hmm. And I realized how like this was bad, and basically I looked at my I don't remember what glasses I was wearing, but they were all pitted, from the blowback.
Yeah.
I mean, that kind of stuff happens.
Yeah.
That's the real danger.
That is, and that's why I love this range, and not just because I work at the company. It's doing its job.
Yeah.
It's keeping me safe and my colleagues safe, and anyone that else is wearing them. That's our number one priority: is safety.
So do you guys must get, what's a really cool customer story you guys have heard? Do you have a favorite? Do you have someone wrote a letter and said, "Hey, I can see thanks to you guys," or anything in particular jump out? I totally put you on the spot.
Yeah.
No, actually, I have a pretty cool customer story from the recent all that's taking place in the war with Israel, and we were at the recent IECP show, and a gentleman walked up to me and he said, "Mark, I need some eyewear. We need to send it over today. What can you do to help us?" And we pride ourselves on customer service, and we pride ourselves on helping those that need safety. So I can't say it's an amazing story. I have plenty of those too, but I will tell you, the folks that I was working with were never so thankful because our team jumped on this and absolutely helped those in need and sent a lot of eyewear over to help the IDF.
Wow, nice.
Wow. It was pretty spectacular, and I felt really good about it because he was in a show where there were a lot of other companies there, but I know that we did what we needed to do and we reacted quickly. So there's a lot of other stories where we saved eyes and things like this, but that's the most recent one that comes to mind.
There was a big increase in gun ownership, basically as a result of COVID and some of the riots that happened soon after COVID. We were seeing people from all walks of life getting into gun ownership. How have you guys seen the market evolving over and then just over the last 10, 15 years? I think that gun ownership has increased, especially for self-defense reasons. I don't think not for hunting, not collecting necessarily. I think a lot more people are carrying and buying for self-defense, especially women. How have you guys seen? How has that affected the market, or how has the market developed as a result of new shooters and such a broad variety?
This gets back to what have we built with Bolle safety standard issue, and certainly those that want protection will go out and buy a gun, but they need to train. They need to understand how to handle the gun, and certainly that is not inexpensive. So it gets back to my thought that we needed to build high quality eyewear, but make it affordable as well. So with the cost of ammunition and training and instruction and licensing and all the different things that you need out there, we wanted to be sure that we provided great eye protection at an affordable price. And that's what we've done. If you take a look at what we've built with Bolle safety standard issue, the meat and potatoes of our line will fall in the $25 price point. And I got to tell you,
Wow.
When you see what we're building at $25, you ask, how did you do it? Well, we have over 100 years of experience in how to build great eyewear.
Yeah, I mean, seriously, your glasses, there used to be a pretty deep distinction between glasses you'd wear on the range and glasses you'd wear off the range, and that's eliminated with you guys. The glasses you guys make are safer than the glasses of safety glasses of the past, and are more stylish than many of the stylish glasses of the past. I mean, you guys nailed it with both.
So I got to bring up the question. Okay, you're selling these in the $25 range. Why? Because you could sell them for a lot more money, make a lot more money, and maybe they'll give you a penthouse.
Yeah, they could, but it's not in my DNA. I mean, certainly we could do that. When I was with my prior company, we did a lot of that. I mean, you put the O on the product, and it commanded a premium price. Yeah. But I understand, we make a fair living off Bolle safety standard issue. Our dealers make a fair living, but we provide quality eye protection. And with that, we just know that we wanted to provide eye protection that anyone can afford, and they don't have to go to a Lowe's or to a Home Depot. Nothing against those brands, great brands, but I mean
different purpose.
Different purpose.
So how should people find Bolle? Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, Miss Marketer.
Yeah, it's I'm the marketing, right? Well, of course, you can always go to our website. So Bolle Safety, BolleSafety.com. Thank you. It's SI. Go to the tactical section in the website, and then also here, actually in North County Shooting Range is the first retail shooting range that does sell them.
Okay.
So you can go to the range as a user, firearms, shooter, and test them out, and it's not gonna break the bank. Like
And
we
you
said.
have others. If you're not a shooter, you have regular sunglasses too.
Yeah, yes, we have. Well, we have the Bolle brands.
Right, that's what I'm
Yeah,
saying.
and we have our store in Carlsbad.
Yeah.
So up in Carlsbad, you can go into the retail store. We'll have the full Bolle Safety Standard issue
Wow.
line there, and we'll also have the Bolle brands there as well.
Excellent.
Anti-fog,
Yeah.
I'm sold.
And if you guys are at North
Yeah.
County Shooting
Yeah.
Center, Stan and Darren, those guys don't mess around. They absolutely probably had to put these They don't just stock anything. I'm
No,
sure
they
that
don't- no.
they put it through the ringer. And
High
if they have
standards.
it, yeah.
And you asked about who's using these. A lot of the women. I'm in the women's shooting
stylish.
group, and the women are buying them. And if you're listening right now to this show, you can go to the website and put in IACP. That was the show we were just at, IACP 50, and get 50% off the current BSSI line right now.
Holy moly.
So we are offering that. And of course, follow us on Instagram because we're always doing promotions on that, which is BolleSafety_SI.
All right.
Yeah.
Thanks for watching this clip from Gun Owners Radio. If you're watching mainstream media, you're not getting the truth about guns. Gun Owners Radio is the easiest way to stay on top of the Second Amendment fight, the fight for your self-defense rights. You can watch our live stream on YouTube every Sunday from 4 to 6 p.m. California time, or if you're in San Diego, AM 1170, FM 96.1, The Answer. We're also available on your favorite podcast platform. Just search Gun Owners Radio and you'll find our show. Like and subscribe to help defend and restore the Second Amendment, not just in California, but across the country.